Good morning. Okay, this is the deck. There's there's a lot of things I can talk about this deck, but the number one thing is just old. It's just all it boils down to. So, as you can tell from the condition, it's bad. But the thing about this deck here is, and I want to point this out. We're gonna throw away that grill. We're gonna remove that satellite disc because it's not being used. Rebuild the bench, all the handrails and pickets. This deck was stick built. They did all kinds of weird things. This is part of an HOA community. It's in central Durham. But you can see, look at this. I mean, the transition from this handrail to this step handrail is just, it's not even, it wouldn't even pass now. Because when you step here, my hand doesn't even reach the handrail. I have to lean over. To grab this. But the way they compensated is that they have this part here to where you can step down, hold on to this, and then grab down here. This should have been an easier transition right here, but it is not. Okay, but this is, like I said, this is part of an HOA community. So I got to be real careful. I can't do too much alteration. I got to kind of just stick with the plan. I got to replace this fence. It's rotted because the deck boards do tuck up underneath. The fence itself, see, tucks underneath. And then up here, it's all rotted out. Okay, you can see that. It's all rotted out. And then the roof line to this little shed, this bump out area right here, connects right up to here. And we've got to deal with this too. So anyway, there's going to be a lot of little cutting that goes on here. But the main thing is I want to show you about this deck. This is the one last year I was called in on it to reinforce it because the steps are falling down. So I double braced this one. I actually did a video on this one. See where I did all this brace work in here, sunk all this in concrete, and just basically supported it to the point where it's not going to move. All right, I replaced a bunch of pickets. Now this is the standard picket right here, and obviously the old ones are larger, and because that's why I said they hand cut these out of 2x4s. They cut their own stock. So up there they're much taller. The pickets are much taller. It's just part of the design that they used when they built this place. Okay, so I'm not going to try to change too much, but I've got to hand cut all these new pickets. Now the bracing under here is basically substandard. They use 4x4s. They're two adjoining attached decks. There's two decks and they're joined in the middle. See, so it can get real complicated real fast because of the way they built this, because they sandwiched. See how they did it? See how they sandwiched these two together? Here's deck one and there's deck two. You see? It's just a really stupid design, but it's just, these places are over 20 years old. But, we've got to stay within the framework of the original build. In other words, I'm going to be duplicating. That's all it is. Okay, good morning, everybody. Excuse me. The big problem I'm going to run into here is that there's a couple other issues. I'll show it to you here in a few seconds, but I could re-engineer this deck to improve it. Let's say just overall, just improve it. But the thing is that you have to get pre-authorizations from an engineer if you change or alter the deck design and the foundation, the structure, and all that, the supports and all that. And you don't want to do that because you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. Okay. And also, too, there's a big problem here with this deck. Over the years, I know you can't tell, but here, I'm going to use my finger. It's leaning that way, down. It's sunk in this corner right here. And because of that movement or that shift in the deck, this is what it did. This was the end result. This first off, this is twisted. It's also doing this number, okay? And it's, you can, and here's the evidence. Here it is. See it? It's split the board. And it's separating the deck, see? It's moved a ½ inch. And at exactly a ½ inch, it's split. See, so nails are backing out. There's all kinds of weird little things going on. This is separating from the wall here. So this is moved over an inch. See all the nails in there? Separating from the wall. And they didn't put a 4x4 in this corner. They only put pickets to hold the handrails together. So there's all kinds of, like I said, screwy little things that are going on with this deck. But anyway, excuse me. All right. I got my helper, just called him up. He's ready to go. The guy who helped me on the concrete work, he's still around and he still wants to work, and it's good. We're gonna jump on this thing first thing in the morning. I'm gonna go cash this check. I've already got the deposit. I've got this signed approval, and I'm gonna go shopping at Lowe's and try to replicate. Basically, I'm gonna buy a bunch of 2x6s. That's all it boils down to. And you can see what they did too. Look at this. See how they pieced all these together? Which that looks terrible. They didn't stagger anything. They just ran certain cuts of boards and that was it. Okay, enough. You can see there's a lot of problems. So my job really is just to solve the problems. Some of them I can't solve the sinking of the deck, but I'm going to reinforce it and rebuild it, and when he comes out here he'll have a new deck. That's the thing, is he's just scared. He fell through one of the deck boards. That basically what started this whole process last year. He came out one day, stepped on one of the boards, and his foot went through it, and that was dangerous. Said he almost broke his foot. So he said that's what started this whole process. So I said, I understand, I get it. Believe me, I get it. But anyway, all right, Tom out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. And I will also show you us demoing this thing and maybe even put my new worker on video. So there you go. There's a little treat for you. Okay, guys, talk to you later. You know what to do. Leave those comments, subscribe, share, like, smash that bell for future notifications, and y'all stay good. And thanks for all the comments on the video I uploaded yesterday about the trades. We appreciate it. And remember, this is a dying trade. Kids just don't want to do this kind of work anymore. All right, I'll leave you with this beautiful view.